Cheers.
Everybody get down. Everybody dance. Get up. Get up.
Really?
That little gay talk show. That little gay talk show. That little gay
Here we go.
That little gay talk show. That little gay talk show. That little gay talk show. Hey everybody, it's That Little Gay Talk Show. I'm your host, Joel Tatum. And with me today is Mr. John Floyd. How you doing, Floyd?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. He is having a glass of wine. We're on FaceTime. So he is having a little glass of wine. His birthday is tomorrow, y'all. Y'all wish Mr. John Floyd, or as I used to remember, y'all wish Devontae Swing. I think he gets that reference. He should.
Did you have to bring that up? Like this? Hey, those were some good years. Those were some good times. They were.
Yes.
They were some great times.
Yes, I'm sure that they were.
They were.
For everybody else but me. Oh my God. Well, it's another episode of the show. It's Thursday. It's April 2nd, 3rd. What are we on now? 3rd?
April 2nd.
Good God, we have been this quarantine thing. I don't even know. Sometimes I wake up in the morning going, I don't even know what goddamn day it is.
Exactly.
I do not even know what goddamn day it is. We just making it through. All right. Let's let me start off with a couple of little things to get us started, to get the conversation going. John has his glass of wine, so I'm sure he's ready for that conversation. I'm gonna start with Hobby Lobby and their decision to close all their stores. But here's the weird thing about Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to say this because I'm caught between a rock and a hard place when it comes to Hobby Lobby. First of all, Hobby Lobby is not a place. I'm not a crafter, so it's not a place that I would go to. I don't know if Floyd is a crafter, if he makes little baskets or.
I have never been to Hobby Lobby.
And I almost got them mixed up with Michael's, because I think that's another place where people buy like little trinkets and Floyd, what are you doing?
I just went and got some more wine.
I can hear every little movement, every little step you making.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's kind of hard to believe because I have carpeting in my apartment, so it's like I don't really. Okay, sorry. I'll walk softly. Sorry.
He walks softly and carries a big something. I don't know. Okay, this is still a gay talk show. You know that's going to come into play.
Oh my God. Okay.
This is still a gay talk show. Remember that. You're gonna hear you're gonna hear a yes queen at least once or twice in this episode. Oh my goodness. So back to Hobby Lobby. Now, through this entire thing, these good Christian billionaires, and they've made sure that they've described themselves as Christian billionaires, have decided to have kept their stores open through all this. Are they an essential business? Floyd, did you ever think that Hobby Lobby would ever consider themselves?
No. Hobby Lobby is not a store that you would consider a essential business. When I think of essential business, I think of hurricane times.
Mm-hmm.
When we had hurricanes, there were two stores that would not be allowed to close during a hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, gas station.
Okay.
Those are the only two essential businesses that I can readily identify with.
Okay.
Now, based on the state and what the great state of Texas is doing, and I say that with full 100% sarcastically saying, they have added certain things to make it, to make certain businesses essential when they really don't need to be. I have no idea why Michael's or why Hobby Lobby would be considered a essential business.
I'm going to say is Michael's even? I don't even think Michael's is open. I know that Hobby Lobby.
There's a Michael's across the street from me.
You're kidding.
From my home.
They're open?
No. Yes. But let me explain. I don't understand why Michael's and Hobby Lobby would be considered an essential business when you have closed basically every restaurant in the city. To me, food is more important than, a hobby or something like that. So,
well, a lot of
I don't understand.
A lot of people with kids would disagree.
Well, I mean, I get that. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, you still got to eat, Joel. I mean, you can go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and spend $150 and buy kid stuff that's going to last them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks to a month. But you got to eat every day.
That's true.
So closing down the restaurants and everything, I understand because the virus can spread easily through that. I get it. But if you're going to close the restaurants, then you got to close the other stuff too.
Well,
one's not more important than the other.
Well, here's what I want to throw this in here because I think there needs to be a really big difference between a restaurant and, let's say, Hobby Lobby. In a restaurant, for those of you who do not know the inner workings of a restaurant, first of all, you're stupid. And secondly, let me tell you the inner workings of a restaurant, okay, from front of the house to back of the house. First of all, we have 19 different chemicals to kill bacteria, viruses, parasites, and whatever. We have chemicals all over. I mean, our restaurant is a chemical factory. We have chemicals everywhere, literally everywhere. Hand sanitizers hand sanitizers are a must. Gloves are a must. Washing our hands constantly. I love how everybody was like, "Oh, I gotta wash my hands." Like, nothing. Floyd, have you ever been out? Now, we are restaurant people, so you can. And I have looked at people before, and I have to tell you something. It might have caused a little bit of a. A couple of arguments have happened in the past. There is nothing worse than I wash my hands constantly, even before all this stuff happened, because in the restaurant business, that's what we have to do. We not only have to protect you, we have to protect ourselves from you. A lot of people don't understand this. We have to protect ourselves not only from each other, but most importantly, we have to protect ourselves from you. So we constantly have to wash our hands. We constantly, constantly have to wash our hands. If you see a waiter's hands, they are the driest. Can I say just to piggyback on what you're saying? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of nasty motherfuckers out there. Yeah, exactly. So when I step out from work and I'm out and about and I'm doing my thing and I go into a place where there's, and I need to go to the restroom, and out of habit, washing my hands it's just something that we do. I have literally been in the restroom at my job, and I have gone in there to like fix my hair or whatever, and I wash my hands, and I literally see somebody coming out of the urinal, like out of the door, and walk straight out the damn door. Whether they're taking a shit or what, and they literally bite. Like, I even move out of the way
to let them have the sink and stuff like that, and they literally walk right past me out the door.
I mean, they walk right. I have seen people literally leave the stall to go right out that door, and I'm like,
yeah. And then the
did he just do that?
Part is, not even that. The sad part is when you have a virus like what we have going on right now, and you have people saying, you have the health experts saying, if everybody just wash their hands and just social distance and stuff like that, the minute they say that, the first thing that pops in my head is that dirty motherfucker that came out of that stall that walked out of the bathroom. And I'm like, dude, there's probably 50,000 motherfuckers like him in this country, in this city.
Okay.
That don't give a shit.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. And then you guys wonder why we have to go to the extreme measures that we're going to. It's because you dirty motherfuckers can't clean yourself.
Okay, Floyd. Okay, Floyd, calm down now. You need to calm down.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I know. But all I wanted to say, Floyd, and to the rest of the world, you know what's even weirder is, and Floyd and I have probably been through this, and countless other people in the business as well. That same person who didn't wash their hands, that didn't wash and you can't say anything. Even if you're at work, you definitely can't say anything. I'm not going to walk up to a guest and go, bitch, you need to go back in there and wash your hands. What's wrong with you? I'm not your parent.
I would.
I'm not your parent. But when you reach out and try to shake my hand, and I know that you didn't wash your hands in the restroom, and then I look at your hands, and then I look at your hands.
Elbow,
I know, right?
All day.
Oh, it's like, we don't do that anymore. We fist bump, or I'll come up with any other thing, but I'm not shaking your hand. I'm not shaking. And if I do, and you see me run over there to grab hand sanitizer, don't get offended. I saw you walk out the bathroom. Literally saw you walk out the bathroom without you washing your hands.
And that's the thing, Joe. That's the thing. The ones that like literally purposely. I don't want to say accidental because it's not an accident.
It's never an accident. It's not an
accident for somebody to not wash their hands, right? This is a purposeful thing that you are doing.
But this was even before what? Now, Floyd, because I know Floyd is very passionate about all this stuff that's going on. I'm not as passionate because most of it is common sense to me, and I just watch out for new information and everything else. But Floyd, hold on, Floyd, calm down. Good Lord, let me get here.
Okay.
So the thing is that, like I said, just stuff that your mama should have taught you a long time ago. And I watch adults do this and everything else. Now, like I said beforehand, I was during quarantine, Floyd. Have you ever watched Drunk History, Floyd?
I have not.
Okay, you need to watch Drunk History. You are on quarantine. If you don't have nothing else to do, you need to watch Drunk History. Drunk History is amazing. It's just the funniest show. And they talk about history with a bunch of comedians, maybe some, I'm not going to say B-list celebrities. I don't like saying that. I figure if you're working in the business and you're doing what you're doing, then to me, you're an A-lister. So the thing is that you have all these celebrities and they have a lot of cocktails and they talk about history. And I've learned a lot of interesting things about history from watching Drunk History. And there was an episode that came out, I think last year, season 6, I think came out last year. And one of the comedians, a beautiful redhead, I cannot remember her name and I wish I'd have wrote it down. I will find it for you next time. But she had said, it's cold and flu season and the flu is terrible this year. So I make sure I wash my hands thoroughly because everybody's supposed to be washing their hands. And I sat there during all of this and I kept thinking to myself, you know what? She literally, I felt like this was an eerie prediction about what's going to happen the following year because this woman was already in the practice of making sure that, and she told the people that came in her, wash your hands. You need to wash your hands.
Well, and here's the thing, Joe. Here's the thing. And without me getting like super ultra passionate about it.
Okay, for the audience, I'm gonna let Floyd have a rant for just a second because I'm running out of a cocktail here. I'm literally out of a cocktail, so I'm gonna let Floyd have a rant. And Floyd, you take a few minutes.
It's not even a rant. It's more of a common sense type.
Okay, well, you take a minute and a half because it's only going to take me a minute and a half to talk about what your stuff is, so we can get on with this show. Because you, I'll be right back.
Okay. So, as Joel was saying, it's not even an issue of washing your hands at a certain time. Washing your hands is something that you should have been taught when you were a kid. When you were in elementary school, when you came back from recess and stuff like that, wash your hands. You know, maybe not the sanitized part, but at least wash your hands, right? As we've gotten older, it's gotten more into wash your hands, sanitize your hands, don't touch your face and stuff like that, right? This is just common sense, right? Common sense. And this is what throws me off about society in general. I love society. I love humanity. However, understand when I say humanity has major issues, here's the issue.
Major issues.
Hold on. Why does humanity, mankind, need the Surgeon General, the President, Dr. Fauci, to get on TV and remind people to wash and sanitize their hands? I don't understand that. You learned this shit when you were a kid.
Floyd.
Learned. Hold on, Joe. Hold on. You learned that when you went to the restroom and you know, whatever you did in the restroom, you know, you touch your hair, you touch your face, you touch your legs, you touch your shoes, whatever. You wash your fucking hands, well,
Floyd,
people.
Floyd, here's the thing.
I'm just saying.
When it comes to touching your face, now we both. Let me remind you, Floyd,
I don't touch my face.
Floyd, don't touch my face. Floyd, let me remind you that you kind of do, and let me tell you why you kind of do. Let me tell you.
I don't.
I can guarantee you. I can tell you why you do. And you will go, oh, okay.
I don't.
You know why you touch your face, Floyd?
Why?
Because you wear glasses, Floyd. We are
I
constantly.
Touch my glasses.
Yes,
I don't touch my face.
Yes, but when you are in a situation where you're talking to someone and you sometimes now glasses have gotten better. Glasses have gotten better, but we have been wearing glasses for how long have you been wearing glasses, Floyd?
But Joe,
no. Okay. I'm asking you a question. How long have you been? 30 years.
30 years, 35 years.
35 years. Okay, Floyd, calm down. I'm not putting you in I'm just trying to give you a point here. We have our hands in our face. We push our glasses up. We adjust our glasses. Yes, but Floyd, our hands are near our face. So I'm not saying that there's anything. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong.
What I've been doing, Joe.
And I feel like you feel like you're being attacked, and you shouldn't feel like that. I'm just pointing out.
No. But lately,
for the listeners out there, Floyd is on FaceTime right now, and he took his glasses off. Because
I'm about to make a point.
All I'm saying is, Floyd, that when it comes to touching our faces, for some of us, it might be a little harder because our hands are near our face. And for those of us who wear glasses, washing your hands thing, that's something that everybody should be chastised about. But sometimes for some of us, people who wear contacts, you touch your eyes because every time you open, and I think I told people on the last episode, I think one of the things that the CDC said is that perhaps you should think about wearing your glasses more and not wearing your contacts because you are touching your face. And that makes
a lot of sense, though. Mm-hmm. That does. That makes an awful lot of sense.
But there are some things. Floyd. John. There are some things to fuss about and get upset about. But when it comes to touching our faces, for a lot of us, and Floyd, you know this to be true, because we wear glasses and we wear contacts, we do touch our face. So for us, it's a little harder. And we need, there always needs to be some level of, okay, for that I understand. Not touching my face. It's
okay. So here's the proverbial for that I understand. I get it. Mm-hmm. Okay. But
and even when you take your glasses off, Floyd, even when you take your glasses off, you touch.
That's because I'm trying to make I'm about to make a point.
Okay.
The people that wear glasses and contacts, compared to the total number of people in the country, is probably a very small percentage. I don't know for a fact. I don't know that for a fact. But I would say
about 35 million. 35 million people wear glasses or contacts.
Okay, there's 330 million. There's 330 million. Okay, there's 330 million people in the country.
But that's enough. That's enough people who touch their face to spread a pandemic. Okay. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. So I get that. But that's 20%. Realistically, that's 20% of the population. So that means 80% of the population have perfect fucking vision. Okay, so there's no reason for them to wash their face and then touch their face.
But do you realize that? Do you realize that maybe some of the talk when it comes to touching faces is to the 20% who do wear contacts and glasses, or who might have the little tools in their mouth, or who it might be for that. Not everything. When you break it down, Floyd,
I can go with that. I can go with that.
You have to break it down sometimes, because there are a lot of us who, we have a reason to touch our face. We do have a reason to touch our face. So
now,
for those,
I will tell you, Joel, that there's a really hot topic right now that is probably going to be going on
way off the Hobby Lobby subject.
I know. But it's good. But there's another topic that is really, really, really starting up, and that's the debate on whether people should wear masks.
Oh, yes. I've yes.
Now, I will tell you, I will start the conversation with this. I don't wear a mask when I'm at home, but when I go to the grocery store, I do wear a face mask when I go to the grocery store.
Okay.
One that goes over your ears and covers your nose and your mouth, so that I do. I do. And I've been doing it for 3 weeks now.
Do you realize
some of my but honestly, some of my Facebook friends are like, dude, why are you doing that? Now, 3 weeks later, you know what my Facebook friends are saying? The same ones that were questioning me, now they're like, dude, that's a good idea.
Floyd, you are super hyper. Calm down.
Well,
Floyd, let me tell you. Let me talk to you in gay speak. Bitch, calm down. Bitch, calm down. Okay, it's fine.
No, I'm just.
But Floyd, we can't have a really good conversation if we
can.
But you have
we
to. Okay, so calm it down, and let me tell you from my perspective.
Okay.
For the first, now it's been a month, so we can just stop saying weeks. It's been a month now. It's been a month since this happened, and I have to say that when we were told not to wear masks, I would avoid people in the grocery store who had masks, because I was told that if you are sick, you need to wear a mask if you go out in public. Now, by the way, did you watch Dr. Falucci? Is it Falucci? Am I pronouncing it right?
Fauci.
Dr. Fauci on talking to talking on the Daily Show, and oh my God, this man is 70-something years old and looks fantastic. Now, as a gay man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that man, it looks good.
He is
a good-looking man. Mm-hmm.
He is. Well, I'm not saying all that, but
he is a good look. I'm saying all of that. I would marry that man in a heartbeat, and I know the sex would be good.
He is an amazing. He is an amazing health professional.
Mm-hmm. He is going to come out really good when this is over with, and we are going to. And in the first half of this show, I want everybody to know that John Floyd and I are just really having a conversation about all this stuff. In the next half of the show, well, the next third of the show, I have a couple of things that I want to bring up. I have some friends who have my brother who is fighting COVID right now in the hospital. He's still in the hospital. He's still fighting COVID. He is getting better, thank God. But he had something interesting to say that I think that people should hear when it comes to when you do have the disease. And he has some really good advice on that, and I want that to be heard. And also, my friend Taval, who owns Tuvi's Woodworking in McAllen, Texas, has a lot. He had a rant on March 24th, and this was before they passed the stimulus thing. But at the same time, he said a lot of things that we as voters should now start thinking about, because I am a registered voter, and I'm watching everything that's going on in the political arena when it comes to this, and I have some issues with both parties. But we're going to get into that in the second half.
On that, Joel, I have a soapbox that I want to discuss briefly.
Okay.
Before we get into that, it's actually my pet cause as of right now. But I do want to inform the listeners that with the help of my good friend Joel here, I do have a upcoming podcast show coming. There's not a title as of yet, but that's being worked on. But that should be happening within the next week or two.
Oh, that's gonna. You have
my good friend. Hold on.
We have a lot of work to do. You don't even have a title for this show.
My good friend,
ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Here I am. Hold on. Here I am.
Good friend Joel. My good friend Joel is actually going to be a producer of the podcast, and he's also going to be a co-host and stuff like that. So I should have the title in the next 2 days, like honestly, like realistically. But everything else has been worked out. I just haven't named the baby.
Let us, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me remind you once again that John Floyd, let me tell you something about John Floyd. John Floyd, his birthday is tomorrow, and he had planned, now Floyd, I just want you to listen, because I'm guessing here. So just please let me just have this, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Here is a man who has planned for this birthday. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. He booked a flight. Did you book a flight, Floyd?
I did. And a hotel.
He booked a flight and a hotel. Knew exactly his itinerary. It's New York. Do you really need an itinerary? Hell no. You're going to New York. It's New York. You're just going to run around and do your thing. So he was going to go to New York. This was all planned out months ago, maybe even a year ago. All planned out because...
Minimum 6 months ago.
Because he is turning, how old are you turning, Floyd?
I'll be 51 tomorrow.
51. He turned 51. Now, I look at Floyd, and Floyd looks at me, and we both look at each other, and I remember that moment when I had just moved to a new neighborhood, was going to high school for the first time, and my dad gave me a Houston Oilers blue and red jacket to wear to school. And he said, "Get out, bitch. Go walk to school." So I didn't. And by the way, for you, and I'm not going to say millennials, I'm going to say Gen Zers. For you Gen Zers, we did not have Google Maps or any of that stuff. We had to figure shit out. So I had to figure
none of that shit.
So for the day before I got enrolled in school, we had a map. We had everything planned out. My parents said, okay, so this is the route you're going to take to get to school because you are now old enough to walk to school by yourself. Of course, this is high school. So, yes, I'm old enough to do that. This is the route you're going to take and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to this huge. Now, when Floyd and I were huge high school, Sam Houston Senior High School was the biggest high school in Texas. It is huge. Close to 3,000 students. 3,000 students of every ethnic.
At that time.
Every ethnic background. Just huge. And the campus, oh my God. This campus had everything. You had a farm in the back. You had FFA, you had ROTC, you had, oh my God.
Auto mechanics,
wood shop. We had just started a tiny little computer lab at the time because computers were the thing at the time. The new thing at the time. This campus was like being on a college campus almost. This campus was so huge. And it was confusing because if you had gone to a tiny little high school, you could find your classes easy. Sam Houston High School was not that way. There was four floors? Maybe? 3 floors?
It was a 3-story high school.
3-story high school that was the length of at least 4 football fields. And you had to find your classes, and you are competing with thousands of kids. The beautiful thing about Sam Houston High School, as opposed to smaller high schools, you got lost in the crowd very easily. You did not. I cannot say how easy it was to get lost in a crowd at Sam Houston High School. You could get lost. All those movies where everybody got bullied and everything. Girl, there was too many people to get A bully could not keep up with how many people were at Sam Houston High School at the time we were going to school. There were a lot of kids going to high school. I think we had, 8 assistant principals? We had 19 counselors. We had, my God.
There were 3 lunch periods.
There were 3 lunch periods. 3 lunch periods. And I skipped ROTC for all 3 lunch periods. And got an A. At ROTC. First, and I didn't even attend classes for 30 days. That was the funniest thing on the planet. And my stepmother at the time. And by the way, parent-teacher conferences were the big thing back then. So my parents would come up there, and my mother, 7 kids. God love her. My step Karen.
Hold on.
Karen.
Don't work co-op. Co-op?
Mm-hmm.
Remember co-op?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was involved in the co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Most of your listeners now probably will not understand what a co-op was.
Mm-hmm.
But co-op was the greatest gift that a high school student could have had because it allowed a high school student to go to school half a day and then
work
go home and rest for like 3 or 4 hours and then work 4 hours.
Yes. But you had to be a senior, though. You had to be a senior.
No, I was a junior.
Yes, that's right. You're right. Co-op. You had to be a junior or a senior to do that. Now, as a junior, I went to all my classes. As a senior, I think I only had 4. I had 4 classes, and then I got out early, and I didn't even have a job. Thankfully enough, because my parents had a little small business, I was able to go home and do that. But you don't like when your parents have a small business because they.
I worked. I had a job. So I actually took part in co-op.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So the thing is that at the time, Sam Houston was like the shit back then. I don't know what it is like right now, but it was the shit back then.
less than shit now.
I have no idea what it is now, and I don't really care because I'm not in high school. And these kids, let them go. God love them. Hopefully, you're doing fine. But when I was going to Sam Houston, good Lord, that campus. The first time I drank Jack Daniels was with the FFA guys in their tight little Wranglers, and and their cows and their sheep in their little thing. We had cows and sheep. Oh my God! When Floyd, remember when the rodeo would come around? Oh my God, that was a time in that school right there. That was a time. Mm-hmm. We had a good time. Now, Floyd, I think you left during what? You left?
I left in my sophomore year because I went to Barbara Jordan.
Yeah, because you went to Barbara Jordan, and I stayed because, well, I was kind of smart, so I stayed. I'm not saying anything about Floyd, but but we would.
I went to a magnet school. Hello.
Mm-hmm. You went to a magnet school that taught hairdressing.
No, I went to a magnet school.
No, that was us. We also had a hairdressing thing.
No, yes,
we did have hairdressing at Sam Houston. That's how big how Sam Houston was. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Barbara Jordan was a magnet school for careers.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to get into Barbara Jordan, you had to take an aptitude test to see how smart you were, so that they could place you.
Mm-hmm.
When I took my test, there were 10 different careers that I could have taken advantage of. Some of them were bus mechanics, computer drafting, air conditioning, refrigeration, which is what I actually went into. But they offered their regular courses too. You still had to take your history and your government and stuff like that. But you had to take an aptitude test, which was different than Sam Houston, because Sam Houston would just accept you for whether you're a dumbass or not. Barbara Jordan wanted to make sure that they weeded out all the dumbasses.
Okay, you know what? Like, no, you didn't. Did you just literally put me in the dumbass section of Sam Houston? You know, I graduated in the top 15% of the high school. So don't you even go there. Out of two, we had 1,500 senior graduates, and I graduated number 46.
I didn't put you in it. I just said that they.
So fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. I did well at Sam Houston, so fuck you, bitch. Truth be told, guys, truth be told, I didn't. I didn't do well. I didn't do well at Sam Houston. Which
my grades were not. Hold on. My grades were not great at Sam Houston. So when I begged, and I literally begged my mom to take me to Barbara Jordan, and once I got in, my grades went from a D at Sam Houston to an A and B at Barbara Jordan, because there was just a better emphasis on academics and on teaching and stuff like that. So I did better. Not saying that I was a better person because I left Sam Houston, but I went to a better school that was able to reach me in a way that Sam Houston was not able to.
That is true. That is true. Because when Floyd, by the way, when you left, it broke my heart because you were like my best friend and you had to leave.
But I had no choice, Joe, because I wasn't learning anything at Sam Houston. I wasn't. I was failing everything or close to failing.
Floyd, and Floyd, you started a chess club in the cafeteria. That was the first time that I'd ever started.
No, it wasn't a chess club. It was a checkers club. We played checkers.
Okay, chess and checkers are still hard. You started a club in the cafeteria. In the cafeteria, and introduced me to all these people, and we were like super nerds. And at Sam Houston, being a nerd at Sam Houston was the best thing because nobody really bullied us. There were so many people there. They didn't really have a lot of.
Well, let me tell you. Since you're talking about being a nerd at Sam Houston, let me tell you how it was my first 2 years at Barbara Jordan, real quickly. We had no. Remember, this is a career school, so there was no sports. There was no basketball team, no volleyball team, no softball team, no baseball team, none of that. Right? If you wanted to play sports, you had to go to your home school. My home school when I was at Barbara Jordan was Sam Houston,
which had the worst teams, except for volleyball. Sam Houston had the best volleyball team.
If I wanted to play, but if I wanted to play sports, I had to go back to Sam Houston.
Yeah.
Right. So we had a courtyard. So our school wasn't that big. We had a cafeteria and an auditorium, which was a cafetorium. Like seriously, that's where we were, right? So our daily entertainment, aside from playing chess and playing checkers in the cafetorium, was watching all of the other kids play red light, green light in the courtyard. Right? That's what we did.
By the way,
that's what we did.
This was what? I'm sorry. What year was this?
1988, 87, 88. So my senior year in 1988, and I will tell you this, Joe, and I'm not ashamed of it at all. My senior year of 1988, midterm.
You know, Flo, we're going to have to take a break here in a minute. You know, we have.
Okay, I'm just saying, midterm. We, including me, I was the only white kid because there was a predominantly black school.
Yes, you were.
We were all playing red light, green light, and the leader of that group, who I still talk to this day.
I didn't know any of that,
like,
by the way.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you.
I'm just saying, I didn't know any of. I want you to continue. I'm just saying that I didn't know any of that. So just continue to tell the story.
He was like, hey, guys, look, we got all these vice principals and everything coming from all around the city and stuff like that. Why don't we play red light, green light, but let's moon everybody. That was our senior prank, right? So I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, so John Floyd has had several glasses of wine. His face is in the phone. Can you sit back and relax?
Listen, Joel. Listen. So everybody in 1988, midterm of 1988, you have all these kids sitting in there playing checkers and chess and stuff like that. You have all these principals, vice principals and everything. They're all in there having lunch and everything. And then you have outside in the courtyard, you have a group of about 500 students that are seniors that are like, yeah, we're just going to moon everybody. And we we literally mooned everybody, including the principals and the vice principals. And the minute we did it, they were like, oh, my God, you got me. Because it's like, all you see, you look to the left, and all you see is this row of asses. So we all run off. Truth be told, how I got caught was my assistant principal, Miss Shannon, was also my biology teacher at Sam Houston, Miss Shannon, from a year earlier. So, and I had her when I was at Sam Houston, and now 2 years later, she's at Barbara Jordan as an assistant principal. So she knew me. She knew me better than the back of her hand. So when people started telling, well, John Floyd was, she's like, really? So she gets on the PA throughout the whole school.
Okay,
she's
Floyd.
like, John Floyd.
Remember, this is a podcast. You can't tell this story for 2.5 hours. Make it, just tell the damn story and get it over with.
So for two, so she, so she literally just on the intercom and she's like, "John Floyd, if you are in this office, get your ass in my office right now."
Mm-hmm. Were you Devontae Swing? When did you adopt the Devontae Swing moniker?
Devontae Swing was after high school when we moved.
So it wasn't after high school.
When we moved up to Greenspoint.
Okay. Who is we? You moved up to Greenspoint. I was not in Greenspoint when
you and I lived off of Imperial Valley. Mm-hmm. Don't even.
Yes, but I wasn't in Greenspoint. You had already gotten an apartment.
That's Greenspoint. Imperial Valley is Greenspoint.
But remember, I had gotten kicked out of my grandmother's house and didn't know where I was going to stay. And you, thankfully enough, I called you. I called you and you said, "Hey, Joel, just come live with me. I live in Greenspoint." And I said, "Okay."
That was when I lived on Imperial Valley.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes. Okay. So we have Mr. Floyd. By the way, I'm letting Mr. Floyd have a good time because he missed his birthday is tomorrow and he missed his. This is what coronavirus has done. It has fucked everybody up. Right now, it has fucked everybody up. Floyd
guys,
is.
Joel and I
hold
are.
On, Floyd,
We are engaged at the hip. Like you guys don't realize.
I don't know
how
if that's
much,
the truth, but
hold on. Your listeners don't realize just how important you were to me when we were in high school. You were my best friend. Mm-hmm. You were so close to me that we called each other cousins because we were like family, and we're still like family.
By the way, we shared. We shared a bed a lot. Your people don't even realize that we went to Astroworld. I just wanted to tell all my gay friends we shared a bed a lot. They don't realize,
Joe. They don't realize that we went to Astroworld and watched Wham. And had to walk off.
I remember John Floyd asking me, "Do you think that George Michael is gay?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so. I think he's like super straight."
And we're both leaving Astroworld with.
By the way, we did not. Floyd, let me reiterate this point again. We had no permission from our parents to go to this thing. Your parents, was super Jehovah's Witnesses, said no. My parents said you are not going to this concert because we literally had to sneak. By the way, guys, here's the thing. John Floyd and I snuck out. We didn't sneak out to see a badass concert with like all kinds of badass people that you could possibly see. We snuck out of our parents' house to see Wham. That's who we snuck.
And guys, let me tell you. This was not something that Joel. Joel was okay with staying home. I was the one that's like, "Dude, come on, let's go."
Yeah, I know.
Come on, fuck that. Let's go. And when we left the concert, Joel, when we got there, Joel was like, "How are we going to get home?" I'm like, "Man, there's buses and everything. Man, don't worry about this shit, man. Don't worry about this." By the time the concert was over, there was no bus.
No. So do you not remember?
So we had no choice. We had to walk from Astroworld to North Houston.
Okay,
Houston. Jensen Drive.
First of all, Floyd, you don't seem to remember. There was a bus. We literally stood at the bus stop. Because we're like, oh, this is the last bus.
But what had happened was people waiting for
no. What had happened was, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get this out because I think Floyd forgot this. What had happened was, you and I had a great time at the concert. We bought food. We rode all the rides. We had a fucking, and it was the first time that I actually had just went, you know what? Fuck my parents. I'm going to see Wham. And that's what we did. Because Floyd was like, "Joel, we got to go do this." And I'm like, "No, they told me no. And I have to stay home." And you're like, "No, we have to go because have you seen my parents? I can't do this kind of shit. So we have to do this. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to do this. So we go there and we both tell our parents that we're going like to hang out. We told our parents that we were going to hang out at each other's house. None of our parents did not know that we were going to Astroworld. I told my parents I was going to your house to spend the night and hang out. And you told your parents that you were going to come to my house and spend the night. That's what we told our parents. Traditional, hey, teenagers. Yeah, that's what you do. So that's what we did. And then we got on the bus and we went to Wham. We went to Astroworld and we rode all the rides. We had a great time. We had to save our money because we're like, oh, we have just enough. By the way, my aunt was working there and she knew I was there. And my aunt got us in. So my aunt was working there and she was like, okay, but I can't tell if I tell your mom, you know, you're going to get in trouble. And she's like, okay, that's fine. I'll get you in. And she got us in and we sat in the grass. Now, you don't understand. The concert stage was seats and then grass. And we sat in the grass and we watched Wham and we had such a great time. And we had such a good time. And it was the most amazing thing on the planet. And then when the park was, and we stayed longer than we were told, by the way, we were told by my aunt, you probably want to leave after the concert because if you stay any longer, you're only going to have one bus. But we didn't listen. We stayed and rode more rides and everything else. And the park closed. And we're like, okay, we have one bus to catch. We'll catch it. And we're supposed to catch it. So we get to the bus stop and we're good. We had a great time and everything else. And we're like, oh my God, we're going to get back to our house. Nobody's going to know what we did and blah, 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 blah. And there was a church group in front of us and they were all talking and everything. And they had to get back to the hotel and they were all talking and everything else. And we weren't paying attention because we were waiting for the bus. So the bus comes and they start to get on the bus. And then they tell the bus driver, no, you're the wrong bus. So we're going to get off. But the bus driver didn't see the fact that we were also in line to get on the bus and the bus took off and we were pissed. We were chasing the bus down the street because the people in front of us told the bus driver that he wasn't going. So we got left behind because a bunch of assholes in front of us who were going to church fucked us and left us at the bus stop. And we chased the bus for 3 blocks. Hold on. We're almost there. We chased the bus for 3 blocks. And guess what? We didn't know what the fuck to do. And our parents didn't even know we were out.
Now, let me interject.
Go ahead.
Because at that time, when, and I need your listeners to understand, we're at that time when Astroworld was doing concerts, it wasn't Astroworld, it was Southern Star Amphitheater, which was doing the concert. The amphitheater was inside the park. So the park would be open, but if the concert ran till midnight and the concert closed and the park closed at 10:30, the concert was still going on, right? So it wasn't, it was a different time back then. Sometimes the concerts were let out before the park would close, and it would allow us to go ride rides or do whatever. And that's what Joel's speaking about. But back then, if anybody remembers the Southern Star Amphitheater, that's where Wham was. And that's the only place in Houston that they were going to be. And that's where we had to go. So when we went, we got to we enjoyed the show and some of that. It's 2 guys, 1 black guy, 1 white guy. We're cousins, we're family, and we're both wearing Choose Life t-shirts because we bought them from the concert and stuff like that. And we get to the bus, and the bus drives off, and we start chasing them and stuff like that. And we can't get on. So then we both look at each other, and we're like, man, we're going to have to walk, bro.
Where are you in the story?
The part where we chased the bus, but we couldn't get on. And so now I look at you, and I'm like, man, we're going to have to walk. And we literally walked from Astroworld.
Oh, did you? Oh, did you tell him the part
to
where
North Houston.
No, I'm sorry. Did you tell him the part after you said that we have to walk that I literally screamed at you, going, "What the fuck? You asked me to come out here, and now we're stuck out here." And I was crying. I cried like a bitch because I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god,
no,
you told me that. Oh, Joel, we're gonna get home and we're gonna be okay, and nobody's gonna tell us." And no one's going to be the wiser and everything else. Did you tell them? You did not tell them that, did you?
I didn't tell them that.
You did not. What?
No.
I was pissed. Because I was not. You know, I had already been in trouble enough with this guy. This guy did not tell you the time that we pushed the truck, my dad's truck out, and went driving around the city in the truck. Did he tell you that? No. Did not take this guy got me in trouble all the time. We pushed my dad's truck out of the driveway and went driving around 610 at 1 o'clock in the morning. And managed to put the truck back.
Joe, that's what cousins do.
That's
what cousins do, Joe.
And my dad I saw my dad. I looked out the window and saw my dad look at his truck and go, I think something's not right. Of course, if my dad had just felt the engine, he would have known it was hot. We literally just drove the truck. But this is the guy who got me in trouble all the time. He said, Joel, you just learned how to drive. No, this is what you said. Joel, you just learned how to drive. Let's take your dad's truck and go for it.
But that's a good thing, Joel. Joe, because that's experiences now. That's great.
We drove all over the city. We drove Floyd, we drove all. Wait, it was me, you. Wasn't there one other person with us? Was it one of my brothers?
It might have been Shannon or Carl.
I think it was Shannon. Was it Shannon or Carl? I think it was Shannon. Somebody went with us. It was not just me and you, because we had to push the truck back.
What about Michael?
No, Michael would tell us in a heartbeat. Michael was an asshole. You knew Michael was an asshole. Michael would tell us in a heartbeat. So it wasn't Michael. Somebody else. It might have been Carl. Oh, it might have been Carl. I have to ask this question. It might have been Carl, because I think Carl, we drove around 610 because I had told you at school that Dad had taught me how to drive on 610 because we did a delivery in his truck. And he taught me how to start the truck and drive the truck around. And you're like, oh, why don't you just show me? And I'm like, oh, that's when you spent the night at my house. Oh my God, that's when you spent the night at my house. You talked me into driving the truck around. You were the one who did that. You talked me into driving my dad's truck around Houston. We pushed it out into the street and then pushed it down the street and then started the truck and we drove around. We never got caught.
It's learned. It's experience now, Joel. Mm-hmm. It's memory.
I have to say this. I love the look. I looked out the window when my dad was looking at the truck, and he stood there looking at the truck for 10 minutes, wondering what was wrong. I had to get you. By the way, I had to get you home because. Yeah, I had to get you home because you knew.
So let me change the course of this subject real quick.
Mm-hmm. Because Hank, guess what we just did, Floyd? We didn't talk that much about coronavirus because guess what?
That's what we're gonna do.
Because guess what?
That's what we're gonna do.
Guess what? Aren't we tired of talking about? Why can't we just tell stories and have a good time? We need to be able to do that because I think the people need to be informed, Joe. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, just real quick, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna run down a few basic truths about what's going on with the coronavirus in Texas.
Okay, well, if you're going to do that, then if you're gonna run down the basic truths, then I'm gonna run down a couple of truths for you to understand, because I have truths from a couple of people that need to be heard, and they need to be heard.
Okay. That's fine. So, number one, just so you guys know, I've been a huge critic of the state of Texas. Okay,
who is?
I have been pushing.
You realize we're not Florida, right?
Hold on, listen. I have been pushing for rental suspension for 60 days minimum in Houston. I have emailed the mayor. I have emailed the county judge. I have emailed the governor. I have emailed my personal congresswoman in my district, Lizzie Fletcher. Like the top 4 people in the state, I have emailed. The mayor's got back to me, the county judges got back to me, and Lizzie Fletcher's got back to me. The only motherfucker that hasn't gotten back to me is the Republican governor. Okay?
You're not going to get that.
No, I'm just saying. He's the only one that hasn't.
You know, your Republican governor, your lieutenant governor, and your AG are kissing an ass.
But right. Okay. Now, we in Texas, as of today, were one of the last states in the country that made a stay-at-home order statewide. There were cities in Houston, like Dallas and Houston and Austin and stuff like that did it. But it wasn't done statewide until today, right? That's a month too late, okay? Because in the next month or so, looking at the projections, Houston and Dallas and Austin are going to get what New York is getting right now.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Okay. That hold on, Joe. That I have a problem with. Okay. I do love New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo. I love him. I wish that motherfucker would run for president because I think he would win in a landslide right now. The reason why I'm saying that is because he has stepped up and he has done what his state far beyond what his state has needed. He has stepped up.
Okay.
Our governor just now, today, ordered a stay-at-home, and then he classified it as, well, it's really not a stay-at-home.
Okay, first of all,
there's 2 different spectrums.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to tell you something, and it needs to be said. I have 2 of the most insightful people that I recorded on for this show, because I want you to hear one part of it. 2, I want you to hear the second part of it. I want you to hear the person who actually has this disease and is dealing with that. And I want you to hear the other side of a small business person who is dealing with this. And I want you to understand something. Why I don't understand why you are surprised that the governor, by the way, I'm going to say the governor, listen to me, Floyd, the governor, the lieutenant governor, and your AG are so up Donald Trump's ass. It's ridiculous how up their ass he is. How they are going to lead. Now, by the way, this is something that I would like to say that Taval has said that might be something that we need to consider. And I'm really starting to understand this. And you honestly need to listen to it because it's ridiculous. The fact of the matter is, as voters, when we continuously put these people in office, who is to blame? Are we going to blame the people who are in office or the people who voted for them?
But
But I
True,
really
That's
want
true.
you to listen to this, and we're going to listen
That's
to
true.
this in.
But before you do that, before you let me listen to that, I want you to understand. Okay, I want your listeners to understand.
Well,
I don't see Republican or Democrat.
Okay, first of all, Floyd,
Here's
you've already been talking
what,
about everything that they're saying is exactly everything that you've been talking about. You've already been talking about this.
Here's what I see.
Okay.
For all your people, Joel, that don't understand the difference between a Republican and a Democrat, here's the difference in a nutshell. Republicans only give a fuck about the top 1% of the country, the wealthiest people in the world, right? Democrats, by nature, and I emphasize by nature, there's corruptness on both sides. But Democrats, by nature, give a fuck about you and I.
Okay, first of all, here's the thing. You need to understand this. And this is a part of the show from this point on. This is exactly the same thing that I've heard already. You need to understand there are other people who think like you, and you need to band together with people who think like you. And by the way,
hello, I'm doing a show soon.
Okay, so the thing is that if we're going to get away from the whole, I'm gonna put this out there. This is my thing. I am so sick and tired, and I was so sick and tired of this before this happened. And guess what happened? Now I'm watching both parties. I'm now watching both sides of the spear do exactly the same thing that I said that they were going to do. Stop with this. We are voters. We're supposed to be the people in control when it comes to voting for the people. Stop.
Yes.
Stop, Floyd. I'm talking, so stop. We're supposed to be the people in control of this. You know what got me more than anything else? I watched a little commercial, and I don't know who it was made by, and I would like to find it again, and I will probably bring it up, where it was a bunch of old people sitting around going, hey, you know what? What's so funny? Everything that's happening right now is because we voted for it. We voted for it. We went to every election. We went from the city to the state and everything. We vote in every election. You don't. You know what's wrong with you? You go and party and do everything else. Everywhere else. You worry about your families and your kids and all that. That's what you worry about. But you know what we worry about? Ourselves. We vote in every election from the city all the way up. That's what we do. But you don't do that. And you know what they are telling us?
I mean, that's true.
Hold on. Listen to this. And this really got me. They said, hey, we might be boomers, but we vote in every election that we can possibly vote in because we vote for our interests. Everybody else doesn't do that. And guess what? That means everybody from us, by the way, that's you and I, on down. We don't participate in all the stuff that they do. We don't go to every election. We don't look at us no, it's true. They literally, everybody who is 70, these people are like bragging literally about the fact that they vote for all the stuff that they vote for because they're looking out.
Yes.
No, because they're looking out for their best interest. But everybody else down.
I think that, Joe.
But you know what? We can complain about it, we bitch about it, and everything else. But they got what they wanted because that's what they voted for. And we are sitting here going, "Oh, we can complain about this and everything else." But when are we going to start understanding the fact that every person that we put in office is our fault? It is our fault. When do
not our fault.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because we
Well,
vote for the same ass people every time.
You're absolutely right.
And then you're going to give me
one aspect.
And by the way, they have also said
on one aspect, Joel, you're right.
Oh my God.
That it is our fault. It is our fault. But here's the reason why it's our fault.
Okay, tell me why it's our fault.
Because every 2 years, every 4 years, the people have a chance to vote the people that they want in or they want out.
Guess.
And it's no, hold on. It's no secret.
Go for it.
That not everybody in the country votes. And when not, hold on, don't interrupt me. But the problem is that when not every single person that's eligible to vote, you get the dumbasses that we have in office now.
Okay, I'm back. Go ahead.
Right? Mm-hmm. Right? This is what happens. When 100% of the population does not vote, and you leave it to stupid motherfuckers to vote, they're going to vote the biggest dumbass that they know. And the biggest dumbass that they voted back in 2015 was who?
Oh, God.
This dumb orange-haired motherfucker that's in office now.
And that's...
Like, honestly.
Oh, my
God. Like, seriously.
I'm going to take this headphones off because you're really pissing me off because you don't understand something. These are the same people. Everything that you're complaining about right now, these people literally made a commercial making fun of us because of all of this. Literally made a commercial. No, listen to what I'm saying. Oh, my God. They literally... Oh my God. They literally, hold on. Old people have literally made a commercial about how stupid we are and how we... Yeah. Are you serious? Okay. You don't even listen. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. But Joe, you have to understand that a lot of that is Republican propaganda.
No, it's every propaganda. It's
not every propaganda.
Oh my God. See,
older people...
Oh, no, Dave. No.
Joe. Joe.
Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. They are so right. Old people are so right. Listen. Yes. Yeah.
No.
They are so right.
No,
we literally just do propaganda.
No, but listen to what I'm saying to you. Listen to what I'm saying. I understand your point, but listen to what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, please tell me
the Republican Party has been shown since 2016 to send out propaganda regarding the Republican Party.
You know, the funny thing is that every old person I talk to tells me the same thing. How we listen to this. This is what we do. This is what we do. We talk about how one agenda or another does this and that. But guess what old people do? They vote in the local elections. They vote in the state elections. You know what they do? You know who they vote? That's what they did. And they don't vote along party lines. They vote for what makes them feel good. And by the way, they vote for No. You know what they do? They vote for their interest. And guess what? They get everything they want because they vote for their interest. They're trying
what do you think? What do you think older people What do you think they're interested in, Joel?
They're trying to tell us. They're really trying to tell us.
What do you think they're interested in? What do you think older people's interest is? Their retirement age.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying, what do you think they're retirement? I'm saying, what do you think they're interested in? Their retirement. They're 70, 80 years old. They want to make their money.
Everybody that I talk to of a certain age are right. You and I are so screwed. We're so screwed because y'all don't listen.
Screwed.
Yeah, we're screwed.
We're not screwed.
Yeah, we're screwed because y'all vote down party lines. Y'all don't look at what's going on. And my God, Floyd, you and I are so screwed.
No, let me tell you.
Yeah, we're screwed.
Let me tell you.
You don't want to admit that, but we're so screwed. Hold on, we're going to screw. We're going to screw everybody else under us because that's what we're going to do. Because we're going down party lines.
Joe, I will admit that we're screwed. But let me tell you the reason why we're screwed. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you the reason why we're screwed, Joe.
God. Okay.
Right?
Why are we screwed?
Let me tell you. When Obama was in office.
Oh, my God. Okay,
listen. Hold on. I didn't agree with everything Obama did.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't agree with everything Obama said.
Mm-hmm.
But did I like him as a president? Yes. The reason why is because I saw, is because I saw that he was trying to do what was in the best interest of the people, right? He formed, before he left, he formed a biological task force. Hold on. The minute Trump got in the office, he got rid of that biological task force. So it took the United States a month and a half to respond to this virus.
Floyd.
It put us back a month and a half. We got more cases than Italy right now. We got more cases than anybody else in the world, Joel. We got more people dying than anybody else in the world right now because they can't take care of what they need to take care of. Right? It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's the person that was voted in the office. I didn't vote for him. If you voted for him, then that's on you. And I still love you. You're my family, right? But that's not here nor there. I didn't vote for him because I knew he was full of shit.
Wow, we're really gonna do this. We're so screwed.
No, I'm just saying, Joe.
I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, Floyd, and I think that this needs to be said. And I'm hoping that I'm going to do this show in a way that I'm going to do it because I'm really sick of this. I'm so sick of this. We are screwed. If nothing in this whole thing is showing us, we're still doing the whole thing of believing in politicians to do our shit when we have been doing it ourselves. That's what we're doing. So we're going to still believe in that. And by the way, if you still believe in that, that's on you. But the fact of the matter is, we have got to stop believing in the people. And by the way, we have to stop looking at left, right, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, look where we're at, Floyd. Floyd, look where we're at. We have nothing.
Joe.
And Joe, I'm sick.
I have been looking at this.
No.
Listen. I'm not left or right.
Yeah, you are. Okay? You've already picked a side.
I'm not.
Yeah, you have.
No.
Because you can't be reasonable.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you have.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you have.
Joe, I'm agreeing. Joe, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with what you're telling me, that we are fucked. Whether you're left or right, we're fucked. Either way. It's just on the far right, the person that's in office right now, I don't want to even call him a president because he's not a president.
Okay, but first, stop. See, if you were agreeing with that, then stop doing that. Stop looking at the far right or the far left. Stop doing that. Here's what I've learned. Here's what I learned. Where are we at right now? We have no job. We have nothing. We have nothing going on. We could be kicked out. Everything else. Nothing going on. No side, both left or right, is looking out for us. None of them are. We have to do this on our own. We've done this on our own. For God knows how long. We don't have that. Why do we keep voting these people in the office to think that they're going to do something? They're not going to. No. We have to stop this, dude. We have to stop this. Here's what's happening. We keep thinking that people are going to do stuff for us. They're not. We have seen what happened when we look. Now we're in a crisis. And what does our government do? Terrible. They're terrible. They have literally small businesses, everything else. We're out of work. We're out of everything else. Guess who runs this country? Small businesses. And are you thinking that this government is looking at small businesses? No, they're taking care of the big stuff. But small businesses are the ones that take care of us. But we don't. No. Here's what we do. We go left and right and say, oh, the Republicans are doing this or the Democrats are doing this. No, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. Neither one is interested in what we're doing right now. And if you are still going to go down that road with a Democratic Party that is not doing anything for us, we're not doing anything. We have to take care of ourselves. This is where we are. John, this is where we are. We're not taking, we have to take care of ourselves.
You know
what's going to happen after this? You know what's going to happen after this? 1,000 restaurants are going to be let go. 1,000 businesses are going to shut down. You think the government's going to do that? No. A $1,200 check, you think that's going to help us? No, it's not going to. You know what's going to help us? Us. And stop looking at these people as being the people on the left or the right who's going to help us. They're not going to do that. You should know this. I've heard all your stuff when it comes to how you're going to get your money, how you're going to pay your bills, how you have to fight to talk to people to get them to understand that we can't do that, and they don't listen to us. They don't listen to us, and you have to understand that. They don't.
I get it, Joe.
They don't listen to them. Okay, so stop looking at the left or the right because they don't care about us at all.
Either one, Joe, I'm not looking at either one. I don't know.
No, you did. You looked at the left and you said that they were going to do this. Guess what? They're not.
Number one, you're not listening to what I'm saying to you.
What are you saying to me? Tell me what you're saying to me. Tell me what you're saying to me. Are we going to be okay when it comes to this? Are we? No, we're not going to be okay when it comes to this.
Hold on.
Are we going to pay our bills when we do this? Are the people that you are looking at who are supposed to be your saviors going to do that?
Once again, you're not listening to what I'm saying to you. You're asking me a question.
I did.
And I would tell you point blank, it depends on who's in office.
Nope, not going to do that.
It does.
Stop doing that. And maybe it's time for us to stop doing it. You know who looks out for us? Us.
Well,
you and I are doing a podcast where we talk about stuff.
You're right.
And I'm watching people on the street doing their thing.
Hold on. You're right. You and I need to look out for us. But just what makes it easier is when you have somebody in office that's fighting for you.
No one is fighting for us.
When you have a Democrat in office, Democrat's going to fight for you.
Are you serious? No one is fighting for us.
Are you telling me that a Republican? Are you telling me that a Republican is going to fight for you?
Are you telling me that a Democrat is going to fight for you? No,
more so than a Republican. More so than a Republican. Republicans don't give a fuck about you and
everybody's interest is looked out for. I'm looking out for, you know what I'm looking out for? The small business guy who's trying to do his thing. And if you're still going to do that with those guys, then I don't want anything to do with you because that's ridiculous. You should know this. They're not looking out for us. We have to look out for ourselves.
Joe, who's looking out for small business? Who's looking out for small business?
Us. Because that's what we have to do.
Yes.
I'm seeing what's going on when it comes to it. But you got to have
some kind of backing, though. So who's backing the small business?
Okay, so if we're not backing so here's the thing. You're a voter. Why are you really? These are the two people that you have to look at. You have to look at Republican. No.
I asked you a question. I asked you, who's backing the small business? Republicans or Democrats?
Neither party. Neither party is doing that.
So who's going to take care of the small business?
Us, because we have no choice. We have to do that.
Oh, you mean broke us?
Oh my God.
Like you and me, the common man. We're broke. We ain't got a pocket fucking business. We can't even take care of our own self. Really?
So we have to depend on who? People in the government to do that? Which part of government do we have to depend on?
No. I'm trying to tell you, Joe. I'm trying to tell you.
You know what? You know what they're doing? I'm paying attention. Are you not?
I am. Democrats are just as crooked
Oh my God.
as Republicans. Hold on. Listen, Joe. Listen without responding. Democrats are just as crooked as Republicans. But Democrats give more fuck about the American people than Republicans do.
How about
Republicans only care? Hold on. Republicans by nature only give a fuck about the top 1% of the country, which is the wealthiest people in the country. They don't give a fuck about the middle class. They don't give a fuck about poor people. Democrats by nature, every law, every bill that they've passed has been for the good of the common man.
No, it has not.
Yes, it has.
Okay. You know what? Here's the thing. If you think that that's what you're doing, and stop trying to put me on that level, I would rather believe in the small business and the people that I talk to when I do that. If you would like to believe in the fact that big government is going to do stuff, you believe in that. I'm going to talk to the small guy who is trying to do his thing. You know what I'm talking to? I'm talking to a guy who literally started a business right when this started, and then this happened, and now he's no longer there. And you're not gonna get it from big business. How are you gonna get that? How are you gonna get that from big government? Please tell me.
No help.
Of course, you'll have no way to get. I would rather help small business to get where they're going to when they're going to, but you're not going to get that from big government. You're not going to. So if you get it from your Democratic Party who's supposed to do something, good luck.
Okay.
I'm worried about small business, and I'm not worried about you.
So here's what we're going to do. Joe. We're going to agree to disagree. Joe. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on. Yeah, let's go. Come on.
It's supposed to be better than this. What is that? You're supposed to be. Wait, what's going on here? Is that. Okay. John, really? We have a lot of stuff to do. Okay, so I'm going to.
So
what?
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna agree to disagree.
No, we're not gonna agree to disagree. Are you really gonna do this? Floyd, are you really gonna do this? This is not
listen.
Floyd, we have got to do better. If we
I'm not
are you really gonna do this, Floyd?
I am
really
not gonna
do this?
argue.
I'm sorry. You're going to really do this with millennials and Gen Z? We are.
I'm not going to.
No, we're going to do this at the top of the food chain.
I am not. Listen, I am not going to get into a political conversation with you. Okay? Because clearly your views differ from mine, and it's going to turn it. Hold on. It's going to turn into an argument.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to agree to disagree.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because this is ridiculous.
So let's move on to the next topic.
We're going to leave these kids to let them do their thing in the future? Are you serious? This is what we're going to do? You and I, are we really going to do this? You're going to do the... Jesus Christ. Floyd.
We're going to table it. Joe, we are going to table it, and we're going to pick it up.
You're going to table it. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to let these kids do this. This is ridiculous. No, I'm not going to do this. If you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not doing that.
I am not going to have I'm not going to have a political conversation with you. Because obviously, you and I don't agree on the same thing. And it's going to turn into an argument. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, now, so you are going to support... I'm sorry, you're going to support... You are going to support on your side as a Democrat. Really?
Talk about the topics, then fine. If you want to talk about the topics, then fine. I will talk about the topics. But I'm not going to get into a political debate with you.
I'm not either. And I've decided to leave you guys behind because Jesus Christ. I'm just going to go with the kids and I'm going to tell the kids to stop voting for these stupid asses on both sides when it comes to whatever side you're voting for because you are stupid. These people do not care about you. I'm looking at everything that's going on when this is going on, and I can't believe that you're doing this. You know what really pisses me off, Floyd? I can't believe you're doing this. You're supposed to be...
What am I doing?
Really? Are you looking at our politicians who are doing the wrong things on so many levels? And you're going to tell these kids... And you're going to tell these kids to vote on one side or the other? Are you serious? That's what you're going to do. I'm not going to do that. You're going to literally tell these kids to vote on one side or the other.
Because now I'm confused. Because I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not looking at the TV screen, the full screen.
You're literally going to ask these kids.
Who are you? Hold on. Who are you backing, Joe? Are you a Republican or are you a Democrat?
I'm not either, and I'm not going to do that. And if you are going to ask me to do that, then fuck you. I'm not doing that.
Okay, no. Which is why I said 2 minutes ago that...
But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the kids not to do that because if you guys are still set up in that...
I said 2 minutes ago.
No.
I said 2 fucking minutes ago. Mm-hmm. That I was not going to get into this with you. I told you this. Mm-hmm. I specifically said in front of all your listeners that I was not going to have this conversation about politics on this program. I told you this. And you went back and said, you're going to do the kids like this, you're going to do the kids like this. Bullshit. I said I was not going to get drawn into a political debate.
Of course you're not.
Hold on.
Of course you're not, because you're on the side of the thing that you're on the side of.
It doesn't matter what fucking side I'm on. I said I was not going to get into a political debate with you.
But you already did.
On this fucking program.
But you already did.
It doesn't matter, Joel. I cut it off. I just stopped it 3 minutes ago. And you want to continue it. Drop it. It's over. Done.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. Goodbye.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.